We're just going to get started. Are you ready for this, Amy?
I am so ready. Hold on real quick. My daughter's in here doing something. Hey.
Oh, you're totally good.
The bags yet. Just put them in groups 25 because that's making too much noise. Got it?
Got it. Then I'll put it in the bag.
Okay. Don't worry about it. All right. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. I'm so glad that you're mom because I don't want to say the word banished, but I banished my daughter to the basement with her dad.
Yeah, my husband's working late tonight. He has supervision. So anyway, she's in the office doing something for me. So anyways, hey guys, I'm super excited about tonight.
So am I, and I just want to say real quick, thank you so much, Amy, for doing this. I would say what better time of year, which I'm sure you'll talk about too, why this is just such an awesome time of year for this particular subject that we're talking about. Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys have already got your holiday decor up, like for fall. Like, I don't know about you, Amy, but I love this time of year. And so I'm excited to hear about expos and events and just all things related to being out there and seeing other people and letting them try these products that we have. So I'll just introduce myself, like literally 30 seconds. You guys, my name is Becky Idy. I'm a triple diamond out in Utah, and I have been with this business for just a little over 5 years. And this is a topic that I've always just wanted. I think a lot of us were just nervous and scared because we don't really know where to start or how to go about doing it. It's not that we don't want to, but we're just going to learn from you, Amy, about how even someone who's brand new can start doing this. So I'm going to mute myself and let you take it away, girl.
Okay. Oh, and you don't worry about it. If you have any questions or if you guys have any questions, I want you to ask me the questions in the chat, and I'm an open book. So anyways, guys, I am so excited to do this. My name is Amy Spence, and I've been with the company, excuse me, for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in February. Sorry, guys. And I was a little bit about my story. I was a former school counselor, and I was presented with this opportunity from a friend of a friend of a friend, and it took me about 7 months to enroll. So for those of you guys who still keep messaging people or you still follow up with people, please keep doing it, because if it wasn't for Allie, Allie Antonacci, and her persistence and in following up with me, her consistency and posting, because I watched all of her posts, even though I never say anything back to her. So she's the reason I joined with her, actually. Ashley Renau, because this is a really funny story, but Ashley Renau is another Ambassador Diamond, and we both joined the same day, and she actually delivered Caroline, our daughter, 2 years prior to us joining It Works. And honestly, we were friends on Facebook, but she was my nurse. Like, we weren't like friends outside of that. But Allie was so persistent and consistent with me, you guys, that I secretly wanted to enroll with Ashley because she talked about doing it the same day that I was doing it. But I didn't, because Allie was just awesome. So that's why I never take no for an answer. And so I always, always, always follow up with people and keep at it, even if they ignore me, because I was that person. So you guys, shortly I went Ambassador Diamond in 13 months. I was working the whole entire time. My husband at the time was a school teacher. He's now an assistant principal. We live in Springfield, Missouri. And this company, has just done amazing things for our family. We have paid off over $90,000 worth of debt. We are debt free. I get to stay at home with Caroline. She's now in 2nd grade. She's actually helping me right now because I'm the PTA president at her school, because I love, love, love working with kids. And so I get to make a difference in a different way. And the reason I'm telling you a little bit about my story is because it ties right in with all these events that I did. So I was a head volleyball coach when I joined. I was an assistant basketball coach. Caroline was born with a very rare genetic disorder. And at that time, we were going to the doctor once a week. So there's a lot of people out there that say they don't have time to work this business. And I'm always like, I am red and blue, you guys. And I am sometimes tough love, because when you want something bad enough, you're going to find the time. And events is what got me to Ambassador, you guys. I'll never forget my first conference of January 2015. I was a presidential diamond, and I was coming up on my year anniversary, and he announced double bonuses. And I looked at Allie, my enroller, and I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to Master Diamond. At that point, I think I had 97 distributors that I needed on my chart. And I needed, 97 distributors and a lot of volume. So I made it happen. And the way I made it happen is 100% events. There were some months that there's some weeks that I didn't get to see Caroline. I didn't tuck her in for 4 or 5 nights in a row because I was leaving school and going straight to parties, and we would party hop. I had a triple diamond that lived in the same town as I, and we would do any kind of event that our community had. So one of the first things I want to start with is what, okay? So what kind of events did we do? We did bridal shows. We did holiday expos. So, that was January. So we had done a couple holiday shows before. We did, there was a boat show. A lot of these schools, a lot of elementary schools in every community have health and wellness fairs. So we were setting up in that. We were setting up in craft shows. We were setting up at country clubs, you guys. All the country clubs have holiday events for their members. And we were setting up tables there. We were also setting up at 5Ks. We were setting up really honestly anywhere that told us yes, or where we could purchase a table, we would do. A lot of times I hear the hang up, well, it costs too much. I totally agree with that. And so with that being said, if you live somewhere where you can split the cost with someone, I highly recommend it. But a lot of times you don't live in the same town as your team. So here's the thing. Our company now, when I joined, you guys, I'm drinking my collagen and my vitamin on my reds mixed together. It's so good. It's like my new favorite thing, hot. But we didn't have the hydrate, the collagen, the keto coffee, the chocolate greens on the go. We didn't even have, well, I think we did have greens on the go, but we didn't have, the energy sticks, all these things that we can sell as samples. That was not available to us. So do you know what I did? I've always from day one run my auto shipment, you guys, and I did not have the money to put money into this business. I maxed out, or I didn't max out, but I put it on a credit card, and I just knew that I had to invest in this business. So from day one, I've always run an auto shipment. And for probably the first 15 months of my business, my auto shipment was always set on wraps. So I didn't even really try any of our products. Honestly, I never used our products until I went triple diamond. So, I don't think that is something I would tell people, but at the same time, I was just so busy and rolling, and I wanted that money. I wanted that commission. So I was not really, worried about the products, but I knew that they worked. And the reason that I knew that they worked is because I saw so many testimonies. So a lot of times, you guys, and this is a good tip too for any kind of event or when you're talking to someone, it's how we present things. It's our confidence. It's even when, you're not 100% confident. I always tell people you have to fake it sometimes until you make it. And when I say fake, I don't mean that we don't believe that the products work. I could show you 25 testimonies on every single one of our products. And I can say, hey, I may not know this person, but so-and-so knows this person, or she's so-and-so's customer, or she's on our team somewhere. And this is a testimony of hers. And so to this day, I haven't tried all of the products, but I still sell like hair, skin, and nails. Never used it, but it's one of my monthly top sellers. I just have I don't really care to use it, but I know it works. So going back to the cost of events, and sorry guys, sometimes I'm all over the place, but going back to the cost of the events, set your auto shipment up this month, you guys. Plus, you're going to get your 500 points to Margaritaville, and those events change everything. I was lucky enough to be on both of the cruises, and it was literally life-changing moments for my business and for other people on my team. So set your auto shipment up to something that you can turn around and sell. I make it a goal to sell about 4 sample packs a week. And do you know why I do that? Because those people turn into loyal customers, and I sell my sample packs for $30 a piece. So that's 30 times 4, that's $120 a week. That I'm getting extra. That's like money that, like maybe my husband doesn't really know about, and I'm hiding and going shopping with it. I'm just teasing, but not really. Anyways, so that is what I suggest you guys doing, because this is the best time for events. So when I joined, you guys, I was not on, I was not social media. I was belly to belly. I was in people's houses. I was in people's backyards. I was in people, I had all the parties. And now I probably do I probably actually do a little bit more social media than belly to belly, but I will say that everything comes back. So we are slowly seeing, and I'm slowly seeing that events and parties in homes are coming back. Becky, I don't know how long you've been in the business, but when I joined, everybody, okay, so 5 years. So you're right there with me. We had launch parties within 72 hours of enrolling. And at a launch party, you guys, you could easily enroll 4 to 10 customers and get boxes to people to 400 to 500 BV right then and there from one event. So hear what I'm saying. I strongly believe in social media, but we need to take every opportunity that we can. And I think it's so important to be face-to-face and belly-to-belly. There's just something about that human interaction that really builds those strong relationships. And that's why I believe a lot of my customers from when I first joined still are enrolling to this day. And it's been almost 6 years because I built that trust. I built that, rapport with them, and they love that customer service. So with that being said, those are all the kind of shows. If there is a gathering in your community, they will probably let you set up a table. So I took Caroline and a couple of our friends the other day. There was a cultural festival in Springfield. It was like the first annual cultural festival in Springfield. And I was like really punching myself because as I was going in this festival, I saw all these tables and there was like 1 or 2 like MLM companies. And I was just like, gosh, why didn't I think about that? But, I haven't done like festivals in a while. So my mind wasn't thinking that. So then I went and I Googled all of the upcoming festivals, and there are literally, you guys, like the month of October, there are Halloween and fall festivals every single weekend, multiple in my town or in surrounding towns. And all you have to do is go to those Facebook event pages or find out who's hosting it and email them and ask if you can set up a table. Most of the time, those are very, very affordable, and a lot of times they are free. So those are huge. So like I said, use Google, find 4 or 5 cities that are near you. And it's okay to drive 45 minutes to an hour. I used to like state hop, you guys. I used to go to multiple states and make a weekend out of it and meet some people on my team. And we would just go like kill it for that weekend. Now, the bridal shows, the boat shows, the health and wellness shows that aren't like at schools. Let's see, what else? What I said, wedding shows, like the cook. There's like also like cooking shows. Those you might find that they're going to be anywhere from $250 to $500 a table. I believe every event that you can get to is worth it. And I would try your hardest to see even if you have team members that are, 45 minutes away to an hour away, I would try to split that cost. What I am seeing now is that, there's not a lot of direct sales companies anymore that are going to these shows. And the reason is because we get so into social media. So everything that I've called on lately this year, there's been an available spot for an It Works person. So, okay, so that's the what of shows. Let's do the how of the shows. Like how do we get there? How do we set up? I really believe, and I can share the pictures that were shared at conference or at Green Carpet when I was on stage.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to ask you, Amy. Those pictures were beautiful.
Yeah, and they were so simple. Am I breaking up? Someone said I was breaking up.
Oh, not for me.
Okay, good.
No,
okay,
not
good.
at all. I don't know if you were when I started talking too, but you've been perfect.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah. So here's the deal. When I first started, I didn't have the It Works tablecloth. They don't even make that anymore. But that there were banners and tablecloths. I didn't have all that because I couldn't afford all that. I literally took what I had and I made do with it. Back then we still have catalogs, but they sometimes will allow you to bring bring like iPads and computers, sometimes you can pay a little extra. And sometimes, like if you just tell them like, look, I really need this and I don't have the extra $25 or $50, sometimes they'll waive that too. Like you never know unless you just ask. But I did not bring like a whole display of stuff. I just didn't. I took stuff that I had from my house. Like think of all the things you have at your house. Like, I don't know, I would take, like vases and put stuff in them. I just got creative using the things that I already had, and the products that I already had. So if you're running your auto shipment, that's all you need. You don't need a ton of products. I also save almost every single empty bottle and like empty bag. I still to this day do that because even when you're mailing samples, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can take your old like keto coffee bags and just put the samples in there, tape it up, and then like tape a piece of paper and put their address on it. So it's that I just save. And you can take empty boxes of stuff. Like I would take, empty containers of cleanser, empty containers of, fat fighters, things like that. And I would just make these simple setups. One time, I think after I went ambassador, I was doing a bridal show and I wanted to do like this huge, elaborate setup, you guys, and it was just overwhelming to people. So I've learned, I've never done that again. I've learned less is more, and you do not need a lot. I promise you. If you say, Amy, all I have is the stuff that I have on my auto shipment, that's okay. That is seriously okay. What is something easy and affordable you can do is that you can go to Target and you can print off before and after pictures. I always, people love before and after pictures, and you can do that for super cheap. And so do that and put them in little frames, or make like a little, I stole, or I didn't steal, but my daughter had this thing in her room that it was like this old window, and my husband had the strung fishing or wire, and you could use clips and put pictures. And so every time I did a show, y'all, I would just take that off her wall, take her pictures down, and then I would put before and after pictures on that. I've used frames in my house before, like a frame that had my wedding picture in it. I would just, print it off and put the It Works picture over the wedding picture and put that up, because people do want to see results. And I think especially with our skinny coffee, it is so amazing. The other thing that I like to do now is I do bring my Keurig. I bring my Keurig, and I do, I bring water, and I offer samples. Now I'm probably going to do it different this year. I'm probably going to make people pay for a cup of coffee instead of trying to have samples. So you have to kind of figure out what you want to do. But I have entered into this mindset that our products are gold, you guys, and we need to treat them like they are gold, and we need to treat them like that people want to pay $5 for it. And most of these events, people bring cash, people bring things, and it's called cash and carry. They want to give you cash and carry out something. So that's also something I learned. So I definitely, if you can, I would make sample bags. Now with the holidays coming, go get some of those cellophane little bags, treat bags, stick a keto coffee in it. You can mix and match and do different things. You could have a big pack for $30. So my $30 pack that I send out, my sample pack is, hey Karen, that's being a little loud, babe. Okay. My $30 sample bag sample pack that I send, and I try to, sell for a week online to people on Instagram or people on Facebook, is 4 keto coffees, 2 chocolate greens. So that is my coffee pack. And then I have a glow up pack. Hold on. I'm going to make sure that, yeah, that's right. 4 keto coffees and 2 chocolate greens for $30, and that's with shipping too. So that's how I ship, and I just buy those mailers off of Amazon. I bought 100 of them, and then that's the cheapest way you can ship it. And then I call it a glow up pack, and I think I got that from Claire Flores, so I can't take the credit on that, but it's a good seller. And I do 2 samples of our tropical fruit punch collagen, and then 2 samples, I call it vitamin water, but it's our super reds, and that's $30 as well. And then I always tell people they can add a facial or a wrap to either one of those packs for $10. that's just little things. Like, you have to do what you feel comfortable with. And so that's what I'm going to do at my show. But I'm also going to have like sample bags where it has one thing of keto coffee and one chocolate greens. And I will probably sell that for $8. Yeah. So, that may be a little bit more, but then they will see, oh, I can get more, almost a week's worth for $30 versus paying $8 for one day. But you will make so much money. And now if you bought a ticket, like if you bought a ticket to conference, you have those product rewards, and you can go buy the keto coffee for it's half off, I think. Yeah, half off. And you can turn around and use those. So that's kind of, simple is better. Go get a tablecloth from Party City. Like, you just don't have to be elaborate. I think that's one thing that people are so held up about, is that they, think that they need all this fancy stuff, and you don't. I think the other thing I really want to talk about with vendor events is just like the fear of talking to people and the fear of putting yourself out there. And I will say, yes, 2 collagens and 2 super reds for $30. I will say that, I'm naturally, I'm blue, so I'm not afraid to talk to people. But, I know some people are. But you have to just get over that. So the way I view everything in this business is, the more people we talk about, the more seeds that we plant. Jade Hooper once told me something a long time ago. She said, it is our job as It Works distributors to talk to as many people as we can. But you need to know that they're not going to enroll on the first, time that you talk to them. And it's so true. So every day when I wake up, I have a set goal of how many new people I'm reaching and I'm talking to. And I know, honestly, I'll tell you, I like to talk to anywhere from 200 to 300 new people a day. But do you think those people, do you think I'm enrolling like 200 to 300 people? No. So, it's just planting those seeds to follow up with. That is how I look at shows. The worst thing they're going to do is say no. But now, you guys, with our products as samples, people are going to buy samples at these shows. I promise you. I promise. If you are in a good place, like if maybe your show is a little bit smaller and intimate, say you're at, because I will do things differently at bigger shows than smaller shows. So, at this festival I'm doing, depending on how many people are there, I might give out samples. And how that looks is I will bring my Keurig and I'll go buy those shot glasses, those plastic little shot glasses. And I just will make my Yeti of keto coffee the way that I like it. And that's also good when you're making it on site, because people can see what you're doing. And I'll probably have my whipped cream. And now that we have pumpkin spice and salted caramel and all that, and I will probably just pour like this much and give them a sample. But when I have a really big bridal show, when I have 200 to 300, 400 people walking in, like, I'm just not going to do that. So I will have them some samples to purchase. So what else was I going? Okay, so the house that we're talking about, what your table is going to look like, what products do you need to bring? Let me see some of these questions, because I have other stuff I want to touch on.
I thought of a question too, and I haven't scrolled through the ones on there, and if you're going to already talk about this, I apologize, but tell us about, do you have something at your setup where people are writing down their info? Maybe you're doing a drawing for a giveaway, and what does that look like that they're filling out? What information are you wanting from them? Because I remember doing that when I was new, having it printed out, and anyways, I won't say what I had in mind because it was asking for too much info. And I feel like now you can just really get their phone number or just get them on social media. But what do you do as far as like getting people's contact info?
Yeah. So I think everyone does shows differently. Like, there are some people in our company that do shows and they seriously, y'all, sign up 50 customers on the spot. I've never been one of those people. I do enroll. My average is about 5 to 6 people on the spot. But my goal is to make my goal is to make those solid conversations. I believe that quality sometimes can be better than quantity. But with that said, I want tons of people. I don't know if that's okay. Sorry, I don't know. My phone was close to the computer. Maybe that was my phone.
No, you're okay. I'm watching who gets unmuted, and you're good.
Oh, thank you. So with that being said, at shows, I always have my phone in my back pocket, you guys, and I am going around to other tables. I am passing out my business cards. Yes, I still have old school business cards. I don't even know if the company sells those anymore, but if they don't.
I was just going to ask, do we still have a template somewhere?
I don't think so, but go to Vistaprint, you guys. It doesn't need to be fancy. Like literally it has my name, my number, my email address, and all that.
And they don't need to get anything approved for doing it.
You don't need, and you don't even have to have this. This is just things, you know, you can make your own little, for like your own little cards, or like maybe you have an extra bag of keto energy. How cool would that be to go around to all the other vendor like booths and like, you know, have a little paper that says, you know, here's an energy pick me up stick, you know, B12, whatever, the description of it, and then have your info on it. And like, that's just a friendly way to meet people. But I always have my phone in my back pocket, and I am constantly pulling up Facebook and saying, hey, will you add yourself to my Facebook? Will you find yourself on Facebook? Because everyone has Facebook these days, right? Everyone has Instagram. Now, the other thing that I'm doing is that the last couple shows I've had the best success with, is I am getting people to put up host to post for me right then and there. So if they put up host to post right then and there, then I am letting them walk away with a free sample. Now, what that looks like, I'm not giving them a whole sample pack. I may let them choose between my collagen, a keto coffee packet, greens on the go, a hydrate, probably not my hydrate. I'm really stingy with my hydrate. But you know, all the things, you know, I will let them pick between like 2 or 3 things. And if they put up a post for me and I explain to them, I'm like, you know, I'm building my network. I go, don't be afraid to tell people you're fighting for a promotion in your company. I tell people that all the time, because we're always constantly trying to promote, right? Like even me on my 2.0, I'm trying to go triple diamond. So I'm like, you know, I'm fighting for a promotion right now, and it would mean a lot to me if, you know, I'll give you, in return for you to put up a post that I give you, I will give you a sample. And what this does, you guys, is you are asking them to find you on Facebook, and then you're asking them for their phone number so that you can copy and paste, or, you know, do your little, hopefully you guys are all using some kind of text replacement app, and you are getting their phone number in your phone, and you are doing that. Now, then we'll take it to a whole nother level. And if you're doing like a community thing, I will say, and if you really want like a week's worth of samples, and listen, you don't have to do this. You need to find out what you can do. But I switch things up, and I have lots of products because I'm in a different place than some of you guys. When I was new, I did not do this, you guys. I just asked people. When I was new, I did give people who hosted a party for me a wrap, because my goal was to have 6 to 8 wrap parties a month, because that's how many wraps I got. And I can successfully say that I pretty much nailed that goal for the first 15 months of my business. So now, though, I might say, hey, I'll give you a week's worth of keto coffee. I'll give you a wrap. I'll do something if you just get your girlfriends together, your coworkers together for a sip and sample. This is really fun for bridal parties, because brides at these events, you know, they want free stuff. And so I always plan it like, hey, you know, if you get your bridal party to your house, I'll come over. We'll have a fun girls' night. I'll bring some stuff for you guys to sip and sample. We'll have some giveaways. You know, all you have to do is invite like 4 or 5 people. The other thing that I've done at events is I've created a event Facebook page. And so everyone that I meet there, I get them to find themselves on Facebook. We become friends, and they automatically get added to that Facebook event on the spot. What I do is, because we all know when you do these events, even if you get 100, 200 contacts, and I still have like a clipboard, you guys, of people who are passing by who I don't get a chance to talk to, there still is a place for them to put their name and information down. Because if I'm having a really good conversation with Susie, and somebody walks by, I'm not going to stop that conversation with Susie if I feel like that's a potential customer or potential distributor. So you have to have something where somebody can put their name. I always, though, do usually work my events with one other person. So usually and like a lot of times, you guys, I work with someone who's not even in my downline or on my team. So we just are sideline sisters that live in Springfield together, and we are friends and we enjoy doing things together. So don't feel like you have to have someone on your team. If you know someone else in It Works that's living near you, and now with Facebook, there's so many different ways and team pages, and there's so many different ways to find people in your town. I promise you're probably not the only It Works distributor in your town. So, the sign up sheet. So yeah. So at that event, when you have all these contacts, the best thing for you to do is follow up with these people within 24 hours, you guys. 24 hours. Because at that point, if you wait longer than that, then they're going to forget about you. I actually don't even try to wait until the night before. I usually am calling or texting them that evening. And what I do is, okay, just so happens, I have thousands of these, you guys, thousands of these, and I keep them. And I actually just pulled some out because I'm going to go, my goal to this weekend is to message everybody. And these are from like literally 3 or 4 years ago. And I can send you
so
this.
Funny. I have those too, and mine are green.
Yeah. And you can, so what this is, I haven't used this in a long time. Like these are a couple years. My new one is just something that I made, and it just has like your name, the address, your phone number, and your email. I like this one is like, I would like more information sent to me. I have friends that would be interested. You don't really need all that. You just need their contact info. But remember, the ones that you're having conversations with, you are connected with them now on Facebook. And so this is huge, you guys, because at these events, you're going to be talking to so many people. When someone friends you on Facebook, take a screenshot real quick of their profile. Okay? Because you will forget their names. So take a screenshot, and then at the end of the day, at the end of the event, you can go back and look at all your screenshots. When someone is filling out, what now?
One thing that I do too, real quick, if I see someone filling one of those out and I have time and there's something about that person that stood out to me.
I was just about to say that.
Yes, I'll write on the back of it just something like, oh, this was a mom with this many kids, or just something to like, jog my memory of who they were versus just a name. So Yeah, that's definitely something you need to do. You definitely need to make some kind of note, because you're going to forget people, and that's okay if you forget people. But then when you're texting them or calling them, you have that little note to maybe remind you. So a lot of times, like, I wish I could find one, but like, oh, here it is. Laura Weeks she was really interested in our ThermoFit, and she was a potential distributor. Okay, so that was years ago, because it was still called ThermoFit. And this one, distributor Confianza. So then when I'm messaging them back, I can say, hey, Ariella, this is Amy Spence. I met you today at the bridal show.
Ariella.
Hey, sorry guys, my husband just got home. I want to like Zoom with lots of people, okay?
Okay.
Anyways, so that is something that just will trigger your memory. And, but okay, go back to the Facebook event page, because this was like really good for me, guys. So the Facebook page so I made the event, and the title of my Facebook event was the show. So if it's the Springfield AWS, whatever bridal show, if you're at a fall festival, whatever, you add them to the event. I tell them that I'm going to go live later in the event. There's going to be giveaways, whatever. So they're in this event, and then as soon as I got home, I went live, and I did like an informal party. I set my phone up on a tripod, and I usually have it down here. And I got out stuff. I made coffee in front of them. I talked about my collagen. I talked about, all the products that I love, like my top 10 favorite. I talked about the wraps, the defining gel. And that was just a good way for them to watch and learn more. And then they could go back and reference it. And plus, you guys, I had them all in one central location, and it was like easy peasy for me to follow up with. When you think about if you really made a commitment for, the rest of 2019 and all of 2020 to focus on events, you will be like me. Like, this isn't even like, this doesn't even scratch the surface of all of these leads that I have, you guys. And a lot of these events will send you who signs up. So like I am now, like I'm always in the bridal show here in Springfield. Like they don't ask any other works person but me. And it's twice a year. And so I'm constantly getting leads, like, because when brides go to register, I'm on the list. So I get their information. So it's just another way for you to get more information. But I think everyone, when you're going into these events, your goal needs to be, you need to have a goal like each time. So I changed that up. Maybe my festival I'm doing in a couple weeks, maybe I'm just strictly going to sell as many sample packs as I can. And when I sell a sample pack, I'm also going to get their information. I'll have them fill it out because you know what I mean? Because my ratio right now, you guys, is about 60%. And like, these are things that you need to probably, like, if you don't already, like, trust me, it's taken me a long time to to find my numbers, but this business is a numbers business. So you've got to know your numbers. So like, I know that if I send out 200 to 300 messages a day, and I follow 100 new people a day, like I know how many customers probably I'll be able to enroll in 1 month, or how many distributors I'll be able to enroll. It's the same thing with sample packs. I've been doing them for the last couple of months, and I know that I have about a 60% rate of turning those people over who bought sample packs as customers, because I'm giving them really good service. I'm telling them, I'm sending them something, and then I sent, if you go to Vistaprint, I know everyone can't do this, but I wish I had it. I made like little cards with my family picture on it, and I put thank you. And it's like not even a card, it's just a card stock. And they come in all different sizes. So that would be cute too if you really wanted to get fancy to put in your sample packs. But it just is a picture of my family, and it just says thank you, Amy Spence. And then I flip it over and I write on the back, like, text me as soon as you get your products in. I can't wait to tell you how to use them. And we're communicating, and they eventually enroll as customers. So that is just something that, about that event, that Facebook event was awesome. Like that, I probably will always do that just because I like having them in one central location.
I think that's genius. Okay. Like, sometimes on Zooms, there's so much info and you're like, what's something I can implement and start now? Doing the Facebook event. Like you're staying fresh in their minds. They're not forgetting who you are. Cause I remember years ago, I'd be overwhelmed by all these papers that I had, and I'd let days go by and I didn't follow up. And then I'm like, well, now what do I even say to them? Are they going to remember who I am? Do they remember they filled out a paper? So I think that's genius. I love it. I did see in the chat some people asking, if you're doing an event with a sideline, how do you go about splitting those leads? Do you have a method?
Yeah, so anyone that she communicates with, obviously, like if she picks up somebody, then like if Susie walks by and she's the first person to greet Susie, obviously I'm not going to come in there, but like if no one's talking to me, and I'm going to interact with both of them. That's not going to be my lead. Like we're one team, one mission. She talked to Susan first, but I'm going to like obviously help her, like, tell her about my experience with the products, tell her what this company's done for me, all of that. So that, and then when she adds them to Facebook, obviously I don't know their name, but then also, like, if you're not adding people on Facebook and they're doing this, like Jill is my sideline friend who I always do things with. She would fold this up and put it in her back pocket. But we have something on the table that is central, that if, we're both talking to someone and they fill out one of these forms, they put it in that bowl, because, every event that you need to say you're doing giveaways, and you need to find at least one thing you're giving away, and you can rig this giveaway. Okay. If there's someone that you talk to that just like, totally, you just felt a connection with, whatever, then definitely make sure that, you give them the giveaway. But those leads that are in the central pot, we just split up at the end of the day. Like, when you are with someone, you really have, first of all, this company is just so amazing in that way. We are all so one team, one mission, and it's never a competition. It's never anything like that unless you want to turn it into that. And that's just not how I am. And that's not how she is, or anyone that I've ever worked with. So that's what we do. Yeah, it's super simple and it's super, super fun. A couple tips that I did want to go over though, you know, if you have a table, make sure you're always standing in front of the table. You never want to be behind the table. You just need to you need to go all out that day. You need to wear a smile on your face, you know, make sure you look presentable, make sure you have on at least, if you don't have an It Works t-shirt, that's okay. Just wear something, you know, during the Halloween, like during these kind of events, I don't really wear It Works stuff because I want to be festive. So I wear like my Halloween shirt, you know, or something like that. But, you know, make sure you're talking to everyone because here's the thing, you know, we have products that everyone really does need. We have products that change people's lives and people feed off of our excitement, you guys. People want to be around excitement. People want to be around happy people. And that is just one thing I've really learned over the last couple of years. And the worst thing they're going to tell you is no. And I remember being at the state counselor conference in November, and I enrolled in February. And I remember there was a It Works person at the little vendor, like we had a little expo down below the hotel and people could set up. So that's the other thing. Think about all like the state, like all these, so like my husband's an athletic director and assistant principal. He goes to state conferences every single year at the same place in Missouri, Tantera. Nurses go to Tantera. Like, think about those things. It's 3 hours away, but hello, it's worth traveling to because it takes one person to change your organization. One person to change your organization, you guys. Allie Antonacci enrolled Lauren Kazmatis. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her, but she's amazing. She's an Ambassador Diamond. She enrolled Lauren on December 31st, and she enrolled me February 2nd, okay? And we are both obviously Ambassador Diamonds, but we went, and Allie was double diamond, so she's double diamond coded to us. But in that summer, she went to Dash. She went to her first Dash, which back then that was your top 75 event. And Allie was number 7 in the company, you guys, number 7, because of the coding of Lauren and I and how we took off. You never know who's going to come in your business and completely change everything. So the way I look at it, anything that I can do and, you know, set up at, I'm going to be there because I don't know who's going to be at that event. So that's events. And, you know, if I'm being completely honest with you, so when I went ambassador, so back to my story, you guys, about this, there were literally 5 weeks when I got home from conference from January to February that I had in 5 weeks. I think we had 27 parties. I was in 27 different people's houses, and it was all from one event, and it was like a Christmas event that I got all these leads on. And so I went back and called all of them, and I got parties scheduled, and that's what got me to ambassador. I was enrolling distributors at those homes. I was enrolling customers at those homes. Like, my team was doing it. So like, when you start doing these events and you start taking pictures and you start talking, your team's going to follow your lead, right? So I do remember though, like shortly after I went ambassador, like my first 2 years in the company is when the whole like social media movement came on, I felt like. And that's when I started like getting away from events. And I got away from events for like 2 to 3, probably 2 years, 2 years. Because I just started back it's probably a year and a half. And that was the worst thing I could do because I love being around people. You got to play off your strengths. So if you are a people person and you want to be out and about, and maybe you've been trying to do this whole social media thing for like a year and a half, and you know, you just can't, it just doesn't feel right. Or maybe you want to change things up in your business, like Pam Souter always talks about, and what we talked about at conference, like evolving and trying new things or doing it all. Go find an event today. When we get off this Zoom, go get on Google and find something that you can do.
I love it. Let me ask a question that just came into my head, and I haven't scrolled through the questions. I do want to keep this under an hour, so for sure. But Amy, I was going to ask, you know, how are you going about right now finding people to do in-home parties? And it sounds like you answered that by saying that you're looking at the leads from these events. Can you just walk us through what either a message or a phone call, like how does that look going about asking them to do a party? Because I think that's where a lot of us, I know myself personally, freeze up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know in certain areas, you know, hosting parties, I don't want to just generalize it and say in the South, they love to host, but like, how do you go about asking people to open up their home and have people over in a way that they will want to?
Yeah, so I do it differently for different events. So like bridal events, I kind of turn it where like, let's get your girlfriends together. Let's get your, you know, bridal party together for a girls' night. I also, those people that I'm really having conversations with, I don't really call it parties anymore. I call it like a sip and sample. And I really bring everything that they can sip and sample at their house. And some people tell me, no, y'all, that's the thing. Like, don't think that I'm over here batting 100 with these in-home parties. But I think that the reason that I do get a lot of people to say yes is because I just make it sound so fun. I'm like, I'll do all the work. It doesn't have to be a lot of people. It can be you and 2 coworkers. It can be you and 2 girlfriends, like whatever it is. You know, and then I do say that we have giveaways. And then if they're really adamant, like no, then I ask them to host an online party. And that's where that host to post too is like so awesome, you guys, because we all know the power in host to post. And, you know, the thing is I hear a lot of times like host to post maybe doesn't work, or, you know, maybe it's dying down. It's not dying down, at all. In fact, like I do host to post now on Instagram too. So if these people are on Instagram, I like have made something where they can put, you know, my information in their story. There's so many different ways. But also, you don't have to do products. You can do a distributor hosted post. I always get like at least 15 to 20 plus comments with a distributor hosted post. Like I have 5 up right now, and they each have probably 15 comments. And those people, none of them may join as a distributor. But guess what that they do? They're my friends now on Facebook, and they see me. And so eventually they enroll as customers, or eventually they enroll as distributors. So if you're more like, say you're going to your first event, say you book an event, that's step 1, you guys. I challenge all of you guys to find one thing you can do. So if you book that one thing and that makes you so deathly nervous to ask them for parties, don't ask them right there face to face. You can do 2 things. You can ask about host to post, and you can ask about parties in your follow-up call or your follow-up text message. And just, you know, ask them then. But if you're someone that's like, okay, I'm going to do this, then just ask. Just say, hey, you know, for everyone here tonight, everyone that I meet at this event, I am doing like free sip and sample events at their house, and we're going to have giveaways. You can invite a couple friends. I'm going to take care of everything. And these are the days that work for me. What days are you available the next 3 weeks? So that's also what I have found. Like, I don't give people a chance to say no, because I basically just word it where you tell me what works for you. And that's kind of how I do when I ask for host to post. I just say, you know, I'm pushing for a big promotion. Would you mind putting something up in your story or put something up on your wall so I can get some referrals? Would you rather have a product post, or would you rather have a product or the opportunity post? Because I think it goes back to assuming that everyone's going to join your team, assuming that everyone's going to enroll as a customer or a distributor. And I was always taught to like assume the sale. So that is what I do even with parties. Like, you're just going to assume that people want to do this. Another tip, you guys, if somebody walks by and you're just getting their information, and like say you didn't have a chance to say, hey, you know, my name's Amy, blah, blah. Don't say, oh, hey, do you want to sign up for a party? Like, no, that's not what you want to do. You want to get that information and maybe follow up with them that night, and then maybe kind of work your way into that conversation. But I think it goes back to just asking, just being excited about what we have. Don't call it a party. Just like when we describe the loyal customer program, we want to stay away from keywords. I would stay away from keywords with this too. It's not a party. You know, it's a sip and sample with some of your girlfriends. But yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to scroll through and maybe we both can just look and see if there are any questions and then we can wrap this up. Thank you, Amy. Let me look.
You're so welcome. Just you guys, there's one more thing too. With the holidays coming up, like your dentist, your doctor, your pediatrician, like all these people, they have events for like the people that they work for or that work for them. So like, especially dentist offices, like ask if you can come like do a little like thing at lunch for all of like the dental hygienists that work there. Go call the country clubs in your town and ask if you could set up something. Boutiques, anything in your community that would maybe work with you and partner with you. But and gyms, all of that. The worst, just the hardest part I think is just asking. But once you like ask one person, it will get so much easier and it'll be so easy for you to do that. I hope this helped you guys, though. I really do. I hope you all start loving events as much as I do. Like, I seriously love events, and they're so fun. And I just really love being around people. The energy is just so fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. And something that I've always heard too, and Pam has said, social media is great, use it as a tool, but I feel like the process can just be sped up so much more quickly when you are face-to-face with someone. Like you mentioned, you can enroll X number of customers at a sip and sample. They're there right in front of you. They hear you, they see you. The trust is built so much more quickly versus through social media, even though there's days that I'll talk to someone for the first time and their customer before the day is over, but that's not the norm. Whereas I feel like with this, like you said, you can grow your business and enroll people so much more quickly. And it's an investment of your time, but I'd much rather invest a couple of hours a night doing a party, and travel, whatever, than, some of these conversations I'm having with people through social media. It's a week, it's longer than a week. And it's just can be exhausting sometimes.
No, I totally agree, you guys. And I this is one thing, like, the last thing I'm going to say is, my husband is an assistant principal. I have a background in education. And like, one of our biggest pet peeves is like when teachers who've been in for 20 years don't want to evolve. Because, teachers that taught 25 years ago, they have to kind of evolve from now, like to reach students in different ways. But I think things like this, events are never going away, you guys. Never. There will always be a bridal industry. There will always be Halloween. There will always be 5Ks and marathons. There will always be Christmas shows. These things are not going away. So this is something that, like she just said, you can take all of the people that you meet in this and then put them in your social media, because if you're doing your job right on your social media, that contact with you and then looking at your social media, they're going to want what you have, because that's our job, is to make, our social media is a highlight reel, right? But we're dripping things about what we do and about the company, the products or whatever. So use social media as a tool with these business or with these events, but definitely just try one, and I promise you guys will be hooked. And you know what? Here's the deal too. The last thing I'm going to say, if you go to an event and you're like, oh, this event stinks, there's only like 20 people, some of those are like my best events. So do not be upset if you're at an event and there's only like 20 people there, literally 20 people there. Take that as a goal to have conversations with all 20 of those people. What do I say to get gyms? I mean, a lot of gyms have customer appreciation days. So just ask if they have anything like that, and just say, I'm a independent distributor with a health and wellness company, and I would love to set up a table and just have, showcase some of my supplements and some stuff that I have. They really don't care. Most of the time they say yes. But thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun, you guys.
Thank you so much. And I am going to stop the recording, and I will, Amy, I can let you know once it's on if you want to hear it.
I want it.
Okay, awesome. This was gold, you guys. And like she said, jump on Google, get on Facebook, use the tool of social media to find events in your area and something to, maybe there's an event it's too late to get in on it. go to that event still, you know, take pictures, take the kids, the family, have fun at it. And then maybe you can look at everyone else in your area or other towns who attended it, possibly grow your network, be posting about being at that event. I've done that before where I've gone to an event and then posted pictures or hashtag that location. And then people are so much more likely to accept my friend request because they see, oh my gosh, like she was at that event too that I was just at. So just an extra little bonus tip. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, Amy.
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.
You
Bye-bye.
too.